Hey, what's up guys? You know, usually if you have an exhaust leak, especially by the gasket, the point where the exhaust manifold connects with the engine head, it will affect the oxygen sensor readings, and that can translate to all sorts of faulty codes like the ones that are gonna be listed on the screen. I'm gonna start the car now and I will show you how it looks like with the live data when you have an exhaust manifold leak. As you can see, the sensor 1 is reading a lean condition, even though the short-term fuel trim is increasing because it's adding more and more fuel in order to satisfy the oxygen sensor. The car is adding around 16-18% of fuel extra in order to make the oxygen sensor to read the correct values. That's when you know that you have an exhaust manifold leak or some leak around the oxygen sensor or somewhere in the catalytic converter or like a hole or something. And soon enough, the long-term fuel trim will take as a good measure this short-term fuel trim. On this car, the exhaust manifold is situated on the front. With the E10 socket, you've got two bolts on top, which will hold this heat shield. And then you've got one more down here, which is hard to see. It's just connected with the oil dipstick, so you can easily identify that on your car. Alright, third one is out. Next, unplug the oxygen sensor. The connector is down here. You press on this tab and release it like that. Then with the oxygen sensor socket, open the oxygen sensor, place the socket in there. Might be very stuck in there, so the oxygen sensor is out. Now you can remove as well the heat shield. Also, it's a good idea to remember how you took it out, so in the same position you're gonna install it back. Down there you can see the nuts which is holding the exhaust manifold. So with a 10mm socket and an extension, begin to open loose all the nuts. Hopefully they are not stuck. Once all the nuts are out, you can begin to wiggle the exhaust manifold. You can just lean it a little bit downwards to make space and remove the gasket. You can also, with a mirror, inspect the valves in here. There shouldn't be a lot of carbon buildup in this area. A little bit on the walls is okay, but if you find like full with grease and stuff in here, then it's a problem. You've got some leaks, oil leaks by the valves. It's also important to torque down the nuts correctly. Otherwise, if some of the nuts are loose, then obviously the air will escape and it will mess up with the readings of the oxygen sensor. So after cleaning very well the surface down there, it's time to place the gasket. Lift the exhaust manifold and place it back in there. And now install back all these nuts. Once those nuts are on, now you can go ahead and, for example, install back the oxygen sensor and with some soapy water spray around the connection point between the manifold and the engine head in case that you previously had a leak. So now you can double check if the leak is gone. So I'm gonna place back this heat shield. Now let's install back the oxygen sensor. Also put your oxygen sensor socket and give it a very nice tight in there. And finally reconnect the oxygen sensor. And that's it guys, job done. If you want to see more videos about this Opel Corsa, there is going to be a link in the description below with all the videos I made about this car. And until next time, drive safe so I can see you soon.